In a typical organization, we would have the head of the organization. Say we would have n number of departments, and each department would have their own team. Now, consider that this person reports to this person, in turn reports to this person, in turn reports to this person, overall line up to this business unit or this geography, and then they overall line up to the top leader of the organization. When we work in teams, we usually work in our own teams where this guy is only working across this team, or this guy is only working across this team. A lot of times, when this person reports to this person usually has organizational authority over this person to assign tasks, to follow up on the deliverables, to review their performance, and to also handle escalations if any. Now, when we are working in a team, we do have some sort of an authority over our team, especially if we have team members reporting into us. But a lot of times we also face situations where we work across teams, whereas we do not have authority over those teams, and in these situations we might have faced a situation where we have to exercise influence over the other person, but we really do not have an authority. Now consider there is a cross-functional project that has been picked up where this person from this team, this person from this team, this person from this team, and this person from this team are supposed to work on the project. Now for ease of understanding, let us say that these are the people, right? This person over here, similarly the other people that I've identified in each team. Now the problem that comes over here is that none of them have authority over each other. Although they are in different layers of the organization, they really do not influence each other, and hence working across such projects or such initiatives becomes a little tough. Now even in this situation, I would say this is not the toughest case of influencing without authority, because at the end of the day there is some organizational structure that is present. At the end of the day, they all roll up to this one person or this one division, and even within their own different set of teams, you can still, for example, if you're person B over here, right? Person B is in the lower rung of the organization in comparison to persons A, C, and D. Now, even if this person was supposed to lead a particular deliverable, they want cooperation from person A and person C. Although they do not have direct authority over this person, they still have authority over these two people through this person, because this person is in a higher level of authority compared to this person and this person. So this person may influence this guy, who turn will influence this guy. So it is not all that bad, but let me also talk about some other situations where we have to work in such situations where we really do not have authority over each other. We can still understand the motivations of each person through their team members. So if we want to understand what motivates this person, we can talk to this guy or this guy or this guy and understand what motivates them, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, what do they enjoy, and hence coordinate the work accordingly. Similarly, in a cross-functional organization project, there are still some deliverables, and there is one person who is accountable for each deliverable, and in that case the other people probably need to work together with that person to achieve the required deadline or deliver the required deliverable. Now when you want to coordinate with this person or with this person, you can always talk to their team members, get to know their style of working and style of communication, and try and work around with that system. Similarly, you would also know what each person values. You would know what they want. This person might be wanting growth, this person might be wanting stability, this person might be wanting recognition, and if you are able to figure that out, it will be easy for you to work through this team. And how would you figure that out? There are n number of ways to do that. You can talk to the managers, the team members, the HR. You can talk to people who worked with them in the past. In fact, you can talk to them directly and understand what they value and work according to their priorities, right? Similarly, in a cross-functional project, typically you will have a bit of time to understand each other, understand each other's priorities, and work according to each other's strengths and weaknesses. And at the end of the day, it's all about incentives. If you are able to figure out what is whose incentive, who gets incentivized because of what, you will easily be able to work in such situations. But I have faced a situation where I have worked in cross-functional projects, but where there is no authority whatsoever. And this is where I had gone to B school, and we had study groups, and you will very easily relate to the fact that study groups do not report to anybody. There is no structure whatsoever. We have to deal independently with all these guys who have who come from different walks of life, who come from different education, family, society, work experience backgrounds, and you need to get the work done with each other. And there is this perception of equality that also comes up. In the previous situation, you had seen that there was a hierarchy, even though these people were not in the same function, but in a study group, in a B school study group, you will see that all of them are equal. And therefore that is where you will have these following challenges that I particularly face. For example, there was no time to know each person, what their incentives were, what their motivations were, how they work, what they value, etc. You are introduced to your entire team this week, and next week you need to submit an assignment along with your team, right? So that's one biggest challenge of working with study groups. The second challenge is nobody has an influence on the other person. There are no teams that you can talk to. There is no hierarchy whatsoever with these group of people. And coming from different walks of life, it's very difficult to you all have common friends, to figure out who those common friends were, to talk to them, to understand what influences them. So if you need to get a work done, even if you need to coordinate on what time you will meet for your study group assignment, it becomes very challenging to work with a study group. And the third thing that becomes challenging is the motivation. We really don't know what motivates whom. We don't know who's here for grades, who's here for placements, who's here for the actual study, who's here just to pass time. We really have no idea what each person is like, and by the time we figure it out, our semester is already over. And the other challenge with identifying motivation is that when you're in an organizational setup, there are some values that each and every person needs to abide by. There are some policies, and all of them, all the employees need to abide by those policies. But when it comes to individuals working for themselves, it becomes very difficult to bind them to one set of ethical and moral standards, and hence one person might want to talk to someone about their assignment, the other person might want to follow the book, and it becomes very, very difficult to resolve such conflicts, because whom will you approach when there is a conflict? In the case of an organization, you could see that there was some level of hierarchy. You could go to the highest level, and over there you will see that everybody falls in place. But in the case of a study group, how would you resolve conflicts? Would you rely on the guy who gets the maximum marks, or the guy who speaks the loudest, or would you go for a majority voting? Would you pick the smarter guy? Would you pick the guy who has the highest stakes because that guy needs grades for a particular placement or for whatever reason? How would you resolve conflict? To my experience, influencing without authority is a challenge on its own, even when you have an organization structure. But when it comes to working in study groups where each and every individual is on their own, they're equal, it becomes very difficult when you don't have time and you need to give out the deliverables as soon as possible. There is zero influence you or the other guy has on the third person. We are clueless about each other's motivation, and even if we know each other's motivations, it is very difficult to align on the same point, because then when we have a conflict, who's going to resolve them? These were my experiences of working with B School study groups. I would also like to know your experiences and learn from how you've managed these situations.